Alright, so I love the idea of a stable, predictable currency, global, instant, accessible. That's why I got interested in Bitcoin some years ago. And I'm not just in this to make free money, but come on. When average people agree with the idea, put a little money into crypto, then have the value tank, it's a bad experience. Greater ideas and saying this is a grand new experiment and markets need to discover price and historically stocks go up, down, or fail, but we're ushering in a shiny new future is all just horse crap when somebody's just lost money. I mean, I understand Bitcoin chiseled the door out of the wall, then kicked it open. I just don't necessarily think Bitcoin is the path forever into the future. For people saying Ether isn't a currency, I mean, anything can be a currency. Ether is divisible, tradable, non-perishable. If somebody said they'd send me 1,000 Ether to go buy and deliver groceries or cut a lawn, I mean, I'd do it. I mean, come on. And if it is gas, gas has value too. I mean, I know somebody in trucking buys a tanker of gas, saves during summer, doesn't get gouged, when it's Labor Day weekend or something. People do that with propane every year. You buy cheap in summer so you don't get gouged in winter. The only difference I see there is Ether doesn't actually go bad, as refined fossil fuels eventually will. As far as the transaction time, yeah, I know that's a dispute with Bitcoin, but it's slow. Ether's better. Capacity, I don't know how this sharding will work out and what will happen with SegWit or Lightning, or whatever. Either way, I think Bitcoin's just, I mean, it started, it was awesome, it was the first, it did it best at the time, but kind of like a dinosaur or something. I mean, new ways are coming out to do what Bitcoin does better. As far as governance goes, I mean, what if Apple never had a CEO? I mean, the code can still do what it's going to do, even with a figurehead or some kind of governing body. I know that's a slippery slope, and hey, again, average people, if I may be so haughty as to think there are others just waiting and watching to see what will happen with cryptos with a similar mindset as myself, like, I don't want to lose money in a flash because of some social infighting amongst the people who know how to code and who are gridlocked with ideological disputes. Give some stability. Otherwise we're back to a time in competing small bank currencies with enough people losing value of their work. They demand a central authority, and that's what happens. I mean, it's great to say no central authority, but when everybody's losing money and there's a zillion cryptos going up and down wildly, and you put money in some and it's just gone, yeah, there's a trade-off. Give me a central authority of some kind that can give me some kind of stability for my money. Maybe that's where, hardcore enthusiasts might be. That's what comes with the market discovering what's going to happen, and that's the risk of getting in early. I mean, again, I don't really care about getting in early or making money. I want a stable currency, and these cryptos are kind of purporting themselves to be, a future global stable kind of currency. I like that idea. I do. But the fact is, it's a long way from stable, and I guess, again, therein lies the risk. But I don't know. I think it could be better now than what the current situation is. If all these coins are forever volatile, it hurts broader adoption. And, again, the average person just doesn't want to touch some of these with a stick because, hey, it's 1,300 today for Bitcoin, now it's 900, and now it's creeping back up to 1,100 or wherever. It's like, I mean, if you put some money in and you're not loaded to begin with, I mean, that can suck. And again, I'm not burnt. I did just fine. I pulled out right before the ETF and put it into Ether. And keeping a little bit to see what happens. But, I mean, I'm fine either way. I mean, I got Bitcoin like 2 years ago. So, I mean, look at the chart. It's like I don't hate Bitcoin at all. I just think it's getting replaced. Jesus. So, yeah, I don't know. I have some impatient. I mean, I want some security, and some decisions, not endless ideological discussion. And I would think there's a user base out there that wants a stable money, not volatile libertarian hooey, you know. As far as Ethereum with inflation, and Bitcoin has a set 21 million coins, and Ether will just keep inflating them. It's like, there's an explanation I've heard on that. Eventually it will be a replacement amount, whatever. I don't really care about that. I mean, gold and silver inflate too. I mean, there's TV shows on guys mining gold. I mean, what do you think that's doing? That's inflating the supply a little bit. If there's just a set amount, I mean, depth of markets and number, I mean, it is true. I mean, I think dollars have gone way too far, but I mean, you need a lot and enough of them, and I mean, that's a plus with these cryptos too. I mean, they're infinitely divisible. I think that's awesome. But to just have a set number forever, I mean, forever is a long time. I don't really mind a little bit of inflation in there. I mean, to me, that gives a little bit of stability. Again, if you just change the code or something and dump a bunch in, I mean, it's like that happened with gold when Pizarro ate up the civilizations of South America or whatever. I mean, I think that pretty much wrecked Spain's gold market for a while. I think it all got sent through London to the rest of Europe. But inflation in a set, predictable, mathematical way, I don't think that's necessarily bad in the amounts Ethereum's talking about. That really doesn't concern me too much. As far as Ethereum too, I mean, the fact that it's got the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, and now the corporations are getting into it, and it'll be corrupted. To me, having corporate economic activity tied to it just makes it all the more viable in my mind. It's like, good, this actually has a production purpose. Corporations producing or doing something want to use this platform. It's like, I think that's a good thing. I think most people do, but I've seen some videos and comments of, it's a conspiracy and it's going to get usurped now, and it's just going to be the big bankers further away. Anything is going to get co-opted by the super rich and the banks a little bit. I mean, you're not going to wreck them. They're still going to be there, and they're still going to have more resources than how many people combined anyway. So, I mean, to me, that's not a bad thing. It's like, okay, it gives it some inherent value that, yeah, big money and big interests and corporations want to use it because it's a viable product. That's not a bad thing to me. Also, with Ethereum, I mean, I could see its price going up a lot. I mean, I have no clue what the future will be at all. And I think anybody that does, I don't know. I mean, hey, the future can do anything, fine. And if you want to hear somebody say it'll go to the moon, awesome. If you think it's going to tank and listen to that guy, awesome. I don't know, but I do think it's real easy that in one click of a button, I mean, holders can dump Bitcoin for Ether or vice versa, and it could drop like a bolt of lightning in, a minute. Like, look at the little panic right after the ETF denial. It dropped almost like $300 of Bitcoin in like a minute. Less. I mean, if big holders just get sick of Bitcoin and Ethereum gets a little better, I mean, some exchanges or mega holders, I mean, again, one click, and again, I mean, you can hang on to Bitcoin because you love Bitcoin. I mean, I love my old VHS tapes. I keep them. I'll never part with them, but when I want to watch a movie, DVDs, you don't have to rewind them. You can skip around. I mean, you can clone them easier. I mean, just saying. I don't know. I guess that's about it for now. But, yeah.